Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Kris. We're about to watch Epic History TV. This is the third episode of History of Russia Part 3. If you've been paying attention, it's been a good day. And I just knocked out, I'm going on number 3 so far. I got a new spiced rum in my cup. Let's top this bad boy off. All right, we're gonna enjoy. I think Catherine the Great's coming up. We're having a good day. I got a very minor buzz. I got a little bit of pickles here. Yep, makes no sense. I think I might be pregnant, but we're gonna get into this video. Like and subscribe, all that other stuff. Video starts. I almost hit the thing to turn it off. I'm not drunk, I promise. So now we're going to start the video. I'm going to have a pickle.
In the early 1700s, Peter the Great's reforms put Russia on the path to becoming a great European power. But it was his grandson's German wife, Catherine, who deposed her husband to become Empress of Russia, who oversaw the completion of that transformation. Like Peter, she too would be remembered as the Great.
Outside of the name, sorry, I got a pickle in my mouth. Outside of the name, I don't know anything about her. Now, Peter the Great turned out to be pretty damn great. So she's got big shoes to fill.
Catherine was a student and admirer of the French Enlightenment, and even corresponded with the French philosopher Voltaire. She reigned as an enlightened autocrat. Her power was unchecked, but she pursued ideals of reason, tolerance, and progress. Catherine became a great patron of the arts and learning. Schools and colleges were built. The Bolshoi Theatre was founded, as well as the Imperial Academy of Fine Arts, while her own magnificent collection of artwork now forms the basis of the world-famous Hermitage Museum. Catherine encouraged Europeans to move to Russia to share their expertise, and helped German migrants to settle in the Volga region, where they became known as Volga Germans. Their communities survived nearly 200 years, until on Stalin's orders, they were deported east at the start of World War II. Catherine's reign also saw enormous territorial expansion. In the south, Russia defeated the Ottoman Empire, winning new lands and the fortresses of Azov and Kerch. But then Catherine faced a major peasant revolt, led by the renegade Cossack Yemelyan Pugachev. The rebels took many fortresses and towns, and stormed the city of Kazan, before they were finally defeated by the Russian army. Catherine...
Stupid question. Anyone who knows, anybody from Russia, who, up to this point, has been Russia's greatest military leader, and who was their greatest military foe? Would it be Genghis Khan? Or Genghis Khan? I don't know how you say his name correctly, okay? Would it be him? Just because he took so much territory? I don't know. You tell me. You fill me in, because I don't know. I'm curious.
Catherine then forcibly incorporated the Zaporozhian Cossacks into the Russian Empire and annexed the Crimean Khanate, a thorn in Russia's side for 300 years. Russia's new lands in the south were named Novorussia, New Russia. Sparsely populated, They were settled by Russian colonists under the...
I will say it's not a very good thing, New Russia, considering all the stuff that's going on now, but we're not going to get into any of that. We're going to leave all that alone. We're just focusing on the history of Russia, not what's currently happening.
Supervision of Prince Potemkin, Catherine's advisor and lover.
Look at that hair.
The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, exhausted by war and at the mercy of its neighbours, was carved up in a series of partitions, with Russia taking the lion's share. Poland did not re-emerge as an independent nation until 1918. Russia inherited a large Jewish population from Poland, who, Catherine decreed, could live only in the so-called Pale of Settlement, and were excluded from most cities. In France, the French Revolution led to the execution of King Louis XVI.
Side note, you see this head right here? Yeah, I'm related to this gentleman. So, rude.
Catherine was horrified.
I'm not going to say he probably didn't have it coming. I mean, but I'm saying rude.
And in the last years of her reign, completely turned her back on the liberal idealism of her youth. 3 years later, Catherine died, ending one of the most glorious reigns in Russian history.
We'll say she did a lot. I personally think Peter the Great was more impressive because he traveled, he saw more. But, you know, I mean, she had, I would say if he was a 10, she was a 9.7 in terms of in how impressive she was with, you know, the lasting art museums and stuff like that. It's still impressive. I can't hit the space button. There you go. I'm not drunk. You know, when I first saw the 1762 to 1796, that was when I was thinking that was born and died. And I was like, well, that can't be right. What, did I lose internet again? Really?
She was succeeded by her son, Paul, a man obsessed by military discipline and detail, and opposed to all his mother's works. Russia joined the coalition of European powers, fighting revolutionary France. Marshal Suvorov, one of Russia's greatest military commanders, won a series of victories against the French in northern Italy. But the wider war was a failure. Meanwhile, Paul's reforms had alienated Russia's army and nobility, and he was murdered in a palace coup. He was succeeded by his 23-year-old son Alexander, who shared his grandmother Catherine's vision for a more modern Russian state. His advisor...
Don't tell me he's Alexander the Great.
The brilliant Count Mikhail Speransky, reformed administration and finance. Yet the emperor refused to back his plans for a liberal constitution. Ultimately, it was war with France that would dominate Alexander's reign.
I want to watch a thing on Napoleon as well. I don't know anything about Napoleon. He's never interested me, but I have a nephew who loves everything Napoleon. I mean, just gets into detail about it. I'm sure Russians don't really care about Napoleon either.
France had a new emperor, Napoleon Bonaparte, who inflicted a series of defeats on Russia and her allies at Austerlitz, Eylau, and Friedland.
Eylau?
But at Tilsit in 1807, the two young emperors met and made an alliance. Russia attacked Sweden, annexing Finland, which became an autonomous Grand Duchy within the Russian Empire. But then, in 1812, Napoleon invaded Russia. At Borodino, French and Russian armies clashed in a gigantic battle, one of the bloodiest of the age. Napoleon emerged victorious, but the Russian army escaped intact. Napoleon occupied Moscow, which was destroyed by fire. And when Alexander refused to negotiate, the French army was forced to make a long retreat through the Russian winter and was annihilated.
Wow. Smart move.
Napoleon had been dealt a mortal blow, and Russia, alongside Prussia, Austria, and Britain, then led the fight back, which ended in the capture of Paris.
Stupid question. Is Prussia Germany? Am I accurate on that? Or is Prussia like a, what's the word? I want to say a conglomeration. Is that right? Of... You know what I'm trying to say. Just a gathering of a bunch of different groups to make Prussia. I don't know. Look, I'm an American. I focus on America. Just where my interest
Napoleon's
is.
abdication. At the Congress of Vienna, as part of the spoils of war, Alexander became King of Poland. Then, with Austria and Prussia, he formed the Holy Alliance, with the aim of preventing further revolutions in Europe. Meanwhile, in the Balkans and Caucasus, Russia had been waging intermittent wars against the Ottoman Empire, Persia, and local tribes. The frontier had been pushed south to incorporate Bessarabia, Circassia, Chechnya, and much of modern Georgia, Dagestan, Azerbaijan, and Armenia.
Azerbaijan?
But the peoples of the Caucasus bitterly resisted Russian rule. Russia's attempt to impose its authority on the region led to the Caucasian War, a brutal conflict fought amongst the mountains and forests that would drag on for nearly 50 years.
Holy shit!
Alexander was succeeded by his brother Nicholas, a conservative and reactionary.
What's the overall opinion on Alexander the First? Seemed like a decent guy, but I don't really know enough. I'm just going... All that I'm learning about Russia is from this video. So that guy seemed decent, like, you know... I'm not gonna... He certainly doesn't deserve the great title, but he seems good.
But parts of Russian society had now developed an appetite for European-style liberalism, including certain army officers who'd seen other ways of doing things during the Napoleonic Wars. They saw Nicholas as an obstacle, and the new emperor's first challenge would be military revolt.
Uh-oh.
Epic History TV.
I'm getting into it, and then it ends. This is really good. Man, I think I'm gonna end up doing all 5 of these bad boys tonight. I am. Add a little more Coke to my rum and Coke. Probably only have one more, but I'm having a good night. This feels like a good night to me. I'm enjoying this. I'm having a good time. I hope you're enjoying this. I mean, you obviously watch. I hope you're learning something. And let me tell you, I appreciate anyone who chimes in in the comment section and add something to the discussion. There are some people like Fran. Fran always has a great, well thought out comment, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate Panda, the commenter, not the animal. Helped me out a lot. Went into detail. I encourage everyone to just sit there and read that. That was great. You know, anything that if it helps learn something or teach something, I encourage, throw it in there. I will appreciate it, even if no one else does. Trust me, I will sincerely appreciate it. So I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to jump into the next one because I'm on a roll. I just don't want to stop. And this is really good. Now I want to do the Napoleonic Wars. I'm really digging Epic History TV. It could be the alcohol as well. And the pickle. I really want another pickle. Anybody drink pickle juice? I do. Delicious. Okay. Just got weird. I'm going to end this here. Like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Tell a friend. If they don't subscribe to the channel, tie them to a chair and beat them with a sock filled with pudding. I don't know. Do what you got to do. All right? You have a good day. Have a good night.